and it is situated in the Pune, Solapur. He have completed his BSc in yoga, MSc in yoga therapy, and PhD in yoga spirituality. Their subject of specialization was effect of Vyagnya on human energy field and empowerment from the S. Vyasa Yoga University. And he have achieved several experiences from 2012 or 13, and he's worked in the SVASA from 2007, and he's having experiences of professional teaching in the Vedic philosophy, Sanskrit, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Yagna therapy, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Garenda Samhita, or Vedic psychology. And whichever the Vedic sciences is available, he have completed teaching in that field of perspective. And with that small introduction, I welcome you, sir, on this platform. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, namaste to all of you. Um, the new way of communicating is before us, that I may not be seeing any one of you, but I will be seeing to all of you, I think, and I am also audible. So it's an opportunity. Thank you, the organizers, for allowing me to share the knowledge which I have in the field of yoga. So let us initiate just some of the initial thoughts of the yogic darshana. As such, yoga has been a darshana for very long, but now it is no more just a darshana, but it is also part of lifestyle. And as we know, today it is not even just lifestyle, but it has raised itself to the medicine. Okay, yoga as a medicine. And it's happy news that the BNY students and few others who are into medical field showing the interest, for the very reason that there are a lot of things that which are not being be able to handled from the modern perspective, and efficiently is being offered properly solutions from the yogic perspective. And interestingly, it is not just sufficient to pick only one section of yoga or one component of yoga to make use of that in an entire or in a bigger perspective. Okay, if we are taking something from yoga, there is a lot of things that complementing to system of yoga. For example, Sankhya. So Sankhya is one of the major contributors for Yoga Darshana. Similarly, it's not only between these two, but there are many other aspects from other darshanas which are offering a lot of support and giving the support from its technical viewpoint. Hence, consider me as a, uh, a person who can bring in not only from yoga but also from other darshanas and Vedic perspective as well. So moving on to this lecture series is focused only on Patanjali Yoga Sutras, but yet whatever possible within this time limit, we will have original understanding, the intended understanding from yogic perspective. Just to move on to what and why the yoga has been a biggest proponent of health aspect. Okay, I want to give a broader base on top of which you can build the bigger mansion of yoga or even naturopathy as well. So when we come to just yogic perspective from Vedic viewpoint, there are three things that we have to consider. First one as a personal. Okay, in the entire universe, there can be hundreds of best methodology. There can be thousands of available materials, but it is only connected with me when it becomes personal. So there is an innate urge in everyone to achieve something at personal level. For example, someone wants to make naturopathy as an universal medicine. Okay, someone else has yoga to be the ultimate therapy system, or someone else wants to establish Vedas to be basis of everything for that matter. So it is one type of achievement that I have set as a goal in my personal life. Okay, so anything in the universe will be interesting only when it is connected to the personal achievement. Okay, so this is the first goal of any kind of yoga. You take all types, all 4 streams of yoga or 10 paths of yoga. First, it has to connect oneself, and with that, one should fix the goal, set the goal, and move towards that. That is first. The second one, anyone who likes to call oneself as a practitioner of yoga should have harmony. Okay, harmony with first oneself. Okay, we have at times have our own contradictions. Okay, mind says something, buddhi says some other thing, and the body urge for something else, and soul is somewhere else. So the harmony first within. Second, there are many entities, there are many living creatures in the universe. With everything, I need to have a harmony. Okay, so that is the second goal that we have set with yoga. So anyone who practices yoga should have a harmonious life. If one is in the midst of family, that fellow, the practitioner of yoga, should have harmony with each and every individual. Yeah? Similarly, if the person, the practitioner of yoga, is part of a society, that family should be harmonious to the rest of the communities. So at the social level, the goal of yoga is to bring in harmony. Okay, therein we claim yoga is union, yoga is joining, yoga is bringing things together. So there are many definitions which will set in this second goal at social level. And the third, which is very, very important actually, to distinguish personal and spiritual, this is one and the same. But when I say personal, it is connected some external achievement. Okay, spiritual is oneself to get maturity within. Okay, the journey within or self upliftment is the third goal that we have set. It is not only just yoga as a philosophical viewpoint, but it is a Vedic view as well. Moving on to what do we get out of the yoga? Okay, so we have hundreds of things in the universe. Okay, I have the I have the wealth, I have the name, I have people, I have anything that I have as owning, that I own many things. Okay, and the entire universe from the philosophical viewpoint is categorized under three sections. Okay, first one is the object that we perceive. The second one is the tool that I use to perceive the objects, and the one who is trying to see the world through the senses. These are the three things, and these are termed in psychology with technical terms. Okay, so seer is known to be drashta. Okay, seen is named as drishya, and the last, the seeing, the process of seeing is called darshana. Okay, so what do we get out of yoga? Lessons on yoga is to get clarity over this. Okay, in medicine, how do you make what is it called, trial, random trials, RT studies are done. First you have to categorize people. Okay, what is the sample size that you are selecting? You have to define it properly, and then you find equivalent group, which is called control group in general. Then you start your experimentation. Okay, so you need to clarify, you need to get a clarity over on who are the subjects that you are trying with, either yoga or naturopathy or ayurveda or allopathy, anything that you claim. Okay, so you need to know where that exact system of medicine is being applied. Okay, it is very simple analogy if I want to give. There is a screw, but I am trying to release the screw with spanner. Okay, which is not possible. You need to have screwdriver to remove the screw. Okay, loosen the screw. Similarly, if you have bolt and nut, you cannot use the screwdriver. You need to have spanner separately. Similarly, cutting plier. So all the tools that we are using should be addressing the specific things. Okay? Not you throw some stones, and whether it falls, it doesn't matter. So we keep on trying. So at times we do that, specifically in the yoga and so-called the spiritual sciences. For example, if I have so many problems, okay, how do I overcome all those problems? By doing some puja. If I say, is there any science behind it? Okay, is there any cause and relation, cause and effect relation between this and the other? Similarly, when you are studying naturopathy or yoga, you have to have symptoms not just from modern allopathic system, modern medicine. You need to equally have the symptoms and the prognosis and the cure, and whatever that you apply in one medicine system, you need to have clarity over everything. Okay, so by the practice of yoga, we will get clarity over the nature. Okay, nature of the seer first, the nature of the seen objects as such, and the nature of the tools that I am using. Okay, whether it is in the right direction. Okay, whether it is the right tool that I'm using. So with all these things, when I have a clarity over these three triads, then I can start applying it with the process. Okay, step by step. Okay, and yoga involves the first one, the second component as well, that it allows you to understand the process step by step. Okay, it is not jugaad. Okay, for many people, yoga and naturopathy and various other sciences have been jugaad, because there is no proper rationale and proper logic to present in a very systematic manner. So yoga is going to give a clarity over these three things. Okay, let it be medicine, let it be your true nature, let it be of the entire universe. Okay, so first clarity, then the process, step by step. Okay, I'm going to explain how the process, including the steps, are very, very important. Okay, just to give an example. Okay, just to give a flavor of how am I considering steps within the process. Okay, um, okay, it's question for everyone. You can raise your thumb if you say yes. Okay, you say no, thumbs down. Okay, first, how many of you know how to make tea, chai? Okay, so I have only I have one response. Okay, okay. So I'm getting actually many responses. Oh, many of you know how to prepare tea. Okay, I assume. And now, let me ask you: is the taste of tea prepared by all of you similar? At times, yes. If you have done, if you have followed the same procedure, okay. Let me make another point in this. Okay, if you are preparing tea, the general and the best way to prepare, said by a doctor, is you should not prepare tea putting the tea powder into the milk directly. Okay, then it becomes red oxide. So you should not prepare like that. Then how to do it? Okay, you have to take first water and ginger if it is masala tea, and then you add lemongrass if you have all these facilities, extra facilities. Otherwise, boil the water, then add tea powder, okay, then add the sugar, then add milk finally, then you filter, then you enjoy. This is one way. Okay, I think many of you would be preparing in this sequence. Second method, if you put sugar in the beginning into the water directly and boil it, okay, then you add milk, finally you add the tea powder, okay, then the taste of this tea, following the different sequence of adding the ingredients, would definitely change. Okay, I'm sure, and you can experiment it today. Okay, that is why we have different tastes in every house. We have different behavioral pattern in every manner. Okay, what comes first? Okay, do I get anger in the beginning, then I start analyzing? Okay, this is the one sequence. Okay, the second sequence is I start analyzing, at the end I get the anger. This is the other sequence. Similarly, there can be different modes of behavioral pattern for different people. Okay, then the outcome or the product at outset will be completely different. That is why we are so as we are. Okay, so the famous statement from psychology is you are that something is there. Okay, somehow by the end you get the product as one face. Okay, so that we have to from the yogic perspective, when you apply different steps, Okay, the affect, the influence, the product will be completely different. Let me give yogic example. Have you experienced the pranayama after asana? Okay, this is one sequence. Then you start asana after pranayama, the outcome will be totally different. Similarly, very, very important, I'm telling, don't do asanas and pranayama or dharana or dhyana, whatever, without practicing yama and niyama, will be completely different. Okay? Or you practice yama and niyama after asana and pranayama, the result will be completely different. So sequence is very, very crucial point in medicine, in cooking, in behavior, in communication, in everything, in fact. Okay, so process and step and the sequence are very, very important. So we are going to give focus with yogic system, what comes first, what comes next, and what is the cumulative effect with this sequence. Similarly, cumulative effect of other sequence. Okay, so that also is the second very, very important point that we have to okay, focus on. The third, while analyzing, while applying, while following step-by-step steps, okay, sequentially, what are the possible obstacles? So possible obstacles, if we can sort out properly, then I can know and I will use the right tool to overcome that obstacle. Okay, assume that I want to go for a kilometer by walk. Okay, what are the obstacles? Okay, the road may be full of stones. The road may be full of thorns. Okay, the road may be full of flowers. Okay, actually, being flowers are not obstacles. Okay, that is more helpful. Okay, or that is very muddy water. Okay, and there is full of water in the path. So with each trouble that you are going to face while walking in the path of yoga, you can use the right tool to overcome all of them. Or you may have a bulldozer with you to once roll over it and make the entire path clean and neat. Okay, so such minute details are available to handle the obstacles with the system of yoga. Okay, and the next one is solutions. Okay, after understanding the challenges with the basics of yogic understanding, then what are the solutions that we have spoken these two together? Okay, and you will be surprised that whatever I am saying, the entire yoga system, the entire philosophical base of yoga is completely focused in the inner existence. Okay, it all put together, it is called chitta. Okay, so in order to make chitta suitable for any path, in order to get clarity over the nature, process, obstacles, and solutions, you need to prepare the chitta properly. Okay, chitta is an entity by itself, which is like a crystal. You place that crystal anywhere with any object. With crystal's intimacy, any object is being reflected on the crystal alike. You place the crystal on the red hibiscus. Okay, then the crystal assumes the color of red hibiscus. Similarly, you place that crystal on the hibiscus. Similarly, other color hibiscuses, or for that matter, any color. You place that, the crystal assumes the form, the color, and every other property of actual object. So, chittam is an entity which can reflect the nature of either the seer or the seen or the seeing. Okay, you put the chitta on self, self will be reflected in chitta, and you will have a clarity over it. Similarly, you place the chitta with objects, okay, then it is capable of reflecting the objects. One limitation that we have today, right now, in order to perceive the world outside, I have to be much dependent on the senses. Okay, all the senses. I, yes, I do not have all these senses. I am zero about the entire universe. Okay, so though right now senses themselves are the abstract, are very helpful tools, but when you progress, they themselves become the obstacles. Okay, so we have to cross the level of senses. Okay, so Patanjali Yoga Sutras are going to facilitate us to cross the barrier, go beyond the barrier of the senses. Okay, without even senses, you can observe any object in the universe. Okay, that is where Patanjali Yoga Sutra gives its unique contribution. It contributes in this manner, meaning by the way of practice of yoga step by step, you will be prepared enough to send chitta not via indriyas but directly to the object. Okay, that's what our goal. We need to understand the universe as is. So how it is possible? By sending the chitta. Okay, and yoga is going to prepare you how to channelize chittam directly to the object without the hindrance, without the barrier, without the limitation of senses. Okay, that is the goal. Okay, and we are going to see how it is possible. You are sitting here, but you want to know what is happening in the moon, okay, in the Jupiter, okay, in the sun, how is happening, not with your laboratory instruments, not even with your senses, but send directly the manas to the object. Okay, when you know the analogy of crystal placed on an object, how transparently it can reflect the object. Similarly, chittam is capable of reflecting the object as is. Okay, so the entire process of yoga is to cleanse that chitta which is full of mud, which is full of dirt. Okay, so we claim that as ashuddhi kshaya. Okay, ashuddhi kshaya is reduction of the dirt, reduction of the mala that is covering the crystal like mind. Okay, so then you may ask, if the mind is so pure by itself, why the minds of people are so weird, so horror, so violent in nature sometimes. Okay, all this, the dirt is not the nature of chitta here. Okay, chitta is pure, but all the dirt you are assuming, the way we said, the crystal manas assumes the color or the shape of any object. Similarly, the dirt is being reflected in the chitta. Okay, so the process of yoga is the cleansing process. Okay, so moving on to the next topic that I have chosen is to introduce Patanjali Yoga Sutras overall. Okay. Till now, I have given the basis of how do these Yoga Sutras go about the topic that it needs to discuss in detail. Okay. Sutras, Patanjali Yoga Sutras are in the form of aphorisms. Okay, aphorisms are the formulae. Okay, this is very unique tradition only of this land. Okay, other lands have their own methods of doing it. Okay, they have lines, they have what do we have? Dead Sea Scrolls, there is Quran, there are different texts which are basically written on some kind of base, and which has been handed down in a very systematic, sometimes with the original understanding, sometimes it is so diverted. Okay, but here the Patanjali Yoga Sutras uh, are connected with each other, carrying an aspect which is unknown in this by the next one. Okay, so Patanjali Yoga Sutras, each one of these sutras is connected to the other. So you start Atha Yoga Anushasanam, you cannot stop in between. Okay, so everything is in flow. Okay, so that we need to understand the flow also. Okay, and there are 4 chapters, as you also know. All of this is only just demographic details of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Okay, to discuss the overall topics of Yoga Sutras from the beginning, what is said is define what is yoga and the goal. That is what the main core uh, of the first chapter. Okay, definitions of yoga and nature of samadhi. Okay, why samadhi is in the beginning itself? Why can't it be at the end? Okay, because destination is somewhere else. But please understand the rationale. Unless I will tell you that what you are going to learn in these sessions, you will not be actually interested to learn something. So I need to first give, okay, this is the product that you are going to get. Okay, by the end of the course, you are going to get this as a product. So I have to present what is the product outlook. Similarly, in the Samadhi Pada, he is discussing in detail the goal of yoga with all its definitions, with all its gradations, with all its tools, with all its interdivisions. So samadhi is the goal of yoga, and what is samadhi we will discuss. Okay, but the nature of samadhi has to be defined well. So defining the goal, nature of samadhi, and which is a very common experience. Okay, samadhi is not when you depart from this body. Okay, it happens at every moment. Now also samadhi is happening. Okay, because you are listening to some audio. Okay, you are seeing some screen before you. Okay, you are some of you must be eating, right? So you are tasting. So whenever something happens, it is all samadhi only. Okay, we are going to analyze why I call everything is samadhi. Okay, it's very common experience. The second point that is also reflected in the first chapter, there is something called Ishvara. Okay, Ishvara is not Shiva, is not Bhasmadhari or Trishula one Ishvara. Ishvara is a principle. Okay, it's basically a principle, and it's a conceptual understanding which is secular in nature. Okay, so it is neither with any religion, is not any with a religious practice, it is neither a person to follow as such. Okay, Ishvara is basically a principle. Okay, what is that principle? What is going to happen by doing that Ishvara? Okay, when I say secular, everybody will be surprised. Literally, truly, the concept of Ishvara in Patanjali Yoga Sutras is secular in nature. Okay, but today, in the name of secularism, we also want to remove some of the concepts from all the yogic tradition. So if you, each one of you, are the sincere practitioners of yoga, or you take any other practice, you bring in those which are left out. Okay, till now only focusing on just random trial RCTs and few some of the things which are just an external exhibition. Okay, so the concept of Ishvara is very, very profound, is very secular. Okay, and moving on to the next is the practice. Okay, you might have heard there are 4 streams of yoga which was made very popular by Swami Vivekananda, that is Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Okay, my division of these yogas is quite different. I call these 4 streams, I categorize under 2 headings. Okay, one is Prakriti Yoga, the other one is Abhyasa Yoga. Okay, Prakriti Yoga and Abhyasa Yoga. What does it mean? Okay, Prakriti is nature. Okay, Abhyasa is practice. Okay, so for example, someone does not have true devotion. Okay, assume someone has, I actually do not feel to go to any temple or doing any bhajan. Okay, it is by nature. Bhakti or the devotion is by nature, you cannot force it. Similarly, you may be too intellectual, you must be so devoted to some concept, but you are not curious enough. Okay, you are not jnana yogi by nature. Okay, you are not curious. You are ready to work. You are ready to be devoted to something. Okay, that is also by nature. Similarly, the karma yoga, bhakti yoga and jnana yoga are to be by nature. It cannot be forced. It cannot be external pressure. You can you can do it. So if you think that you do not belong to any one of these 3 streams, meaning which are by nature Prakriti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga, this is one of the best ways to start yoga. Okay, so yoga means Raja Yoga and this is called Abhyasa Yoga. Okay, so Patanjali gives confidence to us that if you do not have this tendency or inclination towards all these 3 things, you can develop it. Okay, today I don't know how to write research articles. Okay, but you can read and you can learn, you can practice and you can master. Okay, this is the approach of yoga. Okay, that is called Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga facilitate you to prepare for anything that you desire, for any achievement that you are longing for. Okay, so practice is very, very important component of Raja Yoga. And moreover, we have one more thing called mastery. Okay, by practice, getting mastery is one set. Okay, one way of doing it. But mastery itself is one of the tools. Okay, let me tell you, the very word vairagya has been misused and has been misunderstood, and it is used left and right, center, without proper understanding. Okay, Abhyasa and Vairagya. These two tools have to be understood as clearly as possible, because that is what the basis of the entire yogic system, Patanjali yoga system. Okay, okay. Moving on to the next one. All of us, okay, including me, including your teachers, including the patients, including anyone in the universe, Patanjali gives a broad table, okay, broad perspective, broad categorization of seekers. Okay, you may be seeking anything. You may be seeking a professionalism in your medical practice. Okay, you may be seeking the health yourself. You may be seeking a position wherever you are working. You may be seeking something else. Okay, wealth. You are seeking wealth. So, for any kind of seeking, we have some kind of gradation done. Okay, and Patanjali offers a wonderful model of seekers in a very systematic manner. Okay, so that is categories of seekers and their gradation. Okay, where do I fit? And my personal opinion about yoga or any practice that you do, you will get confidence only when you do it, okay, yourself. And I have learned many of these sutras by the practice. Even the meaning, simple meaning of any sutra will be understood by you only when you try to practice it. Okay, so when I say gradation of the seekers, you will be confident enough to achieve something only when you practice it. Okay, so all lies only in practice. So I'm warning all of you. Even whatever I teach here, you are free to reject, or you are free to contradict with any idea that I'm saying. Okay, as long as it is in line with your thought and your experience. So what I teach here, you try to experience in your personal life, and I am sure I will give you sufficient tips and sufficient the mode of application of Patanjali Yoga Sutras as much needed for your personal practice. Okay, and that is what makes even my communication or the discussion or the discourse fruitful. Otherwise, there is no point. There are many lectures, there are many yogic lessons available already in the market. Okay, so my portion in this entire web series will be giving tips, giving some in between lines, so that while understanding yoga with its philosophical background and with its original understanding, how to make it a praxis, make it more practical in today, here and now. Okay, so when I say categories of people, where do I belong to? Which box I lie among the bigger model of seekers? Okay, and next is few tips for purification within and through attitudinal changes and focusing on the breath. So there are various aspects that are presented in the first chapter. Okay, moving on to the next sadhana pada. It is the preparatory steps. After once the goal is set, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, in the beginning, he explains about quick fix. Okay, we all need in our life the quick fix. I don't want to study all the Patanjali Yoga Sutras and then I will solve all the problems in my life. No. So Patanjali in between gives which are quick fixes. Okay, that we will see what is in detail. Okay. So for today, I just want to wind up the session for today. So we will discuss the rest of the things in the upcoming classes. Okay. So with this, I will close, and we will spend little time in question answer if you have any. Okay. Am I clear? Is it clear that whatever I have shared is clear to all of you, or am I making more complicated?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I assume that I'm being as clear as possible, so that the upcoming dialogues will be more interactive in nature and more practice oriented and more encouraging, and it should be brainstorming. Okay. So thus I wind up for today. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir,
Okay.
for this.
So is it and I will follow the same pattern. I will
Yes, sir.
allow last 10 minutes,
Sure,
okay,
sir.
for question answer, and the rest will be what I will be presenting.
Sure, sir.
Huh? Okay.
Okay, sir.